We're talking with Senator Joe Lieberman here at the Imus Morning program on a far more serious note.
Yes.
I was talking with Colonel Jack Jacobs, who we have on, I don't know, once or twice a week.
Right. He's great.
There he is. Now, he pointed out regarding this troop surge that it really only amounts to about a 15% increase in troop strength, hardly enough to do anything or to have any impact at all.
Yeah.
What's your view of that?
Well, I worry about it, but I think it will have an impact. I mean, if I had my druthers, I would have increased it from the 21,000 to maybe 35,000. But I do think we're putting in another 5 brigades, which is 16, 17,000 soldiers into Baghdad. That is a doubling of the American forces, coalition forces we've got in Baghdad now, and it will have an effect. The other place we're going to put the remaining 4,000 or so is in Anbar province to the west. When McCain and I and Lindsey Graham, Susan Collins were in Iraq in December, we went to Ramadi, which is the sort of the capital of Anbar province. We met an incredible group of soldiers, ours, who are there making progress. They've turned Sunni sheikhs in that area against al-Qaeda, and these are reinforcements for them, and I think we can really make some progress, even win some victories over in Anbar. So I think this is a significant. Nobody's come up with a better idea to basically stop the violence in Baghdad, which is getting in the way of reviving the economy and ultimately getting the Iraqi politicians to do the things they got to do. But if you gave me my druthers, I'd have it up to about 35,000.
Well, what happens when this doesn't work, which is what's going to happen?
Well, let's hope and pray it works.
No, I know, but it's not going to.
No. And
you have to face reality, Senator.
Yes.
It's not going to work. Maliki is not going to, he's not going to jump ugly with al-Sadr. He owes his seat to his support. I mean, everybody knows that. He's already dragging his feet. He's contemptuous of it's like loaning money to relatives. He's contemptuous of U.S. support anyway. Maliki is.
Yeah.
So what happens next then when none of this works?
Yeah. In fairness, some of that stuff he says, I think, is said for local domestic consumption. But there's no question that he and most of them in politics, and frankly, most of the people, know that they want us out, but not now. That's the story. They don't, and everybody can understand they don't want an occupying force. But they know that the place really would fall apart. There would be open armed civil war, and the Iranians would come in and dominate a good part of the country. So let's hope and pray it works. I will tell you that having been there in December, talked to a lot of Iraqis and Americans, soldiers, at the highest level, generals and then foot soldiers, they believe this thing is still, I'd say, winnable. By that I mean we can stabilize it. And because the consequences of losing, of failing, are so disastrous for Iraq, for the Middle East, for us in the war on terrorism, I believe we just got to try this. And I say to my colleagues who are opposed to it, what's the alternative? The alternative they're mostly talking about, well, one is a resolution of opinion, which really doesn't do anything.
No, that's cowardly. By the way.
And it's a political statement, not really a statement that has anything to do with the war, except that fortunately it may send a mixed message to our troops over there. But
with all due respect, though, Senator,
yes, sir,
you really haven't answered. Well, you're not really. You haven't answered my question, and my question is, what happens? What's Plan B? What happens when this doesn't work?
Yeah,
I know. We hope and pray it does. Of course we do.
Yeah.
I hope and pray I win the lottery.
Yeah, you do. And I hope and pray you win the lottery, too, because you probably give a lot of it away.
I could give it all away. I'd have to.
You probably would.
But anyway, what happens when it doesn't work?
Yeah. Well, we will then look at the situation and decide what we can do, and the alternatives are limited here. The main alternative that the opponents of what the president has done are offering is to simply begin to withdraw. And the theory there is that somehow some people want to withdraw because they just want to get out. They want to give up, they think the thing is not winnable, and I'm afraid they don't agree with me that the consequences of pulling out would be a disaster for everybody, including, most important, us. But some say if you begin to withdraw, then Maliki and the other Iraqis will say, oh, my God, they're leaving. We got to get our act together. I don't think so. I think what is more likely is that the Iraqi politicians will begin to hedge their bets, and the militias and the Al-Qaeda terrorists will just hold back until the date we're gone, and then chaos will break out. And it'll, unfortunately, as McCain says, we'll probably be back there in a larger war, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. I think this is our chance. So I guess I'd say to you, in war, there's a famous old saying that war is a series of catastrophes that ends up in victory for one side. And right now, I'd say this plan is the best next step we've got. Let's hope it works, pray it works, and if it doesn't, then we'll figure out what we're going to do then.
Of course, Tom Friedman